Hello, good day and welcome. First, thank you for your attendance for joining to our webinar. It is a pleasure for us to share this time with you. As you may know, Cosmeservice is a cosmetic consulting company focused on cosmetic safety and regulation. You are welcome to visit our website, cosmeservice.com. Today, our new webinar is Understanding EU Beauty Labels. My name is Ima Gamero. I'm Technical Director from Cosmeservice, and I will try to show you some key points to keep in mind at the time of designing a label, a cosmetic label for the European market. We have the tools to make it easier to know which issues could appear during this process. This is a practical training. We are going to discuss all the labeling in general and the importance in marketing. Moreover, our purpose is to improve public health by encouraging companies of the cosmetic industry and also consumers to read and to understand product label information. The duration will be about 35 minutes, and if you have any question or concerns, please just contact us. Here at the first slide and also in the last, you will have our contact details, and we will be glad to receive your mails and your information. Also, at the end of the webinar, you will find a brief questionnaire. We would be pleasant if you could complete it. Your answer will help to improve our services and our webinars. So let's start. Consumers buy and use cosmetic and personal care products every day. When people go for shopping, they look for the labels to read products and all its specifications. It has become a habit for most of people to see labels when you are going to buy cosmetic. So it's very important because label designing really influences the buyers, and it may lead to the increasing demand for the products. But do you understand everything on your cosmetic product labels? It's our goal today. Know how to read the cosmetic label to understand the best way to carry out for our cosmetic products in the industry. What is labeling? Yes, labeling is the process of incorporating any written, electronic, or graphic communication on the packaging or another associated labels. And what is the importance of this beauty labeling? Marketing, of course, but is it very important the safety of consumers? Inform the end user about all the information, the product differentiation, and the brand awareness to have credibility of our buyers. And when consumers are going to read the labeling, of course, when they are going to buy before purchase, but it's very important to know that they are going to read the labeling before, during, and after its use. So please read the label first. What are the functions of labeling? Naming and defining the product, of course. It tells the consumer what is inside and what are the instructions and all cautions that are relevant information about the content of the product. But also the identification that gives the identity, and also the consumer can recognize the product from the logo, for example, of the label. And without this label, the product is nameless. The labeling is also important to classify a product, not only for consumers or for stores. It's also important for authorities that have all the information for this classification, and helps in promoting the product. Yes, marketing is very important, and a well-designed label can put an effort into the promotion of the product by catching the attention in the consumers. Finally, we can't forget that labels comply with the law, the safety of the consumers, and all the restrictions of certain age of people is a good example for the compliance with according to the law. Here we can see a labeling. We have hair care product, a very normal product that you can see. which includes a lot of indication for consumers, lots of text there in the labeling. But we need to think, how do you know what is mandatory and what's the information is optional and what is compulsory? We are going to try to do it with this scheme that is very easy. It's a generic cosmetic product, and we are going to see in detail each parameter individually to make it easier and to have our product at our own product labeling. Okay, what is mandatory? The information that must appear on the labeling of the cosmetic products sold in the European Union is regulated, of course, and its main goal is to ensure transparency in the information provided to the consumers. First, we are going to see these legal requirements. In the practical way, we are going to see some examples too, because the most important is to adapt them to our product successful in the market. It is boring, but we need to start with the regulation because it's necessary to learn about what is applicable. And as you could guess, this is the EU Regulation 1223 of 2009. Labeling comes under Article 19. The main purpose of this legislation is the public safety, and it applies to all cosmetic products that are for sale or being given away free as a commercial promotion. Please take in account that the penalties for non-compliance can be severe, and ignorance of the law is not a defense. It is applicable for all sales and distribution channels. E-commerce for cosmetic products sold by internet, also toiletries, cosmetic products available, for example, in hotels, drugstore or products sold in pharmacies, or beauty center or products applied by professionals. All of them are applicable. And where in the packaging and primary and secondary packaging. As you know, primary is now the container and inner packaging, and the secondary is the packaging designed to hold one or more containers, including protective and informative material, like a leaflet, for example. And based on extensive consumer research, a cosmetic industry, we should work to make consumers' label even easier to read and to understand. Yes, there are too many points in the Article 19, and we are going to see each one. First is the responsible person, that is the legal or natural person based in the European Union who will act as the unique representative. This must show the business name in the company and the way to contact is, the postal address if you want the phone number or some information. And the purpose is to ensure that any consumer or any authorities that have a question, have a comment or a complaint about the product, they can easily contact to the responsible body. And also it is important that you can use the name and the registered name, but also you can use an abbreviation for this information if it's possible. Here we have an example that we have several addresses in the European Union, France, Belgium, and one from Luxembourg. What is the right one? Or what is the responsible person? Is the French one because it is highlighted, it is underlined, and it means that the address is where the PIF is the responsible person, and where they are going to contact if they have some problems or they need more information about your product. Another question could be, if we have US and EU address, which need to be highlighted? No, it's not necessary to highlight anyone because they are different markets, so it's not a problem. And the made in, yes, cosmetic products that you are manufacturing outside the European Union, it's necessary to write down in your labeling made in the country that it's manufactured. For example, here you can see manufacturing in Turkey. Another question could be if it's possible to have a website in a label as the responsible person. It could be a possibility, but no, it's not according to the regulation. Why? Because it is necessary a physical address within the European community. But if you want to write a website as additional information, it is possible for consumers for more information or for the authorities too. And now is the time for Brexit. From 2021, UK responsible person is going to be applicable. It's going to be mandatory to sell products in this country. A cosmetic brand selling both in the European Union and in UK will be need to responsible person in each specific territory. The name of the UKRP have to be added to the product information file if you are going to sell it. So it is necessary to update the report. Moreover, what's happened with the made in? As you know, in Europe, according to EU regulation, the manufacturing country has to figure on the product label if the country is outside the EU. So if you are manufacturing in UK and selling in the EU, the mention made in UK have to be added to the label. And on the other hand, if you have manufacturing in the European Union and you are selling in the UK, the mention made in EU will have to be added to UK. So please go in thinking about this information because it's possible to update the label before 2021. Nominal content. This is the net content that corresponds to the amount of the product at the time of manufacturing. It could be indicated in grams or milliliters depending if it is solid or if it is liquid. Although it's usually compulsory, it is mandatory, it can be omitted if the content is less than 5 grams or 5 milliliters, if we have a single-use packaging or in free samples. Moreover, for multi-packs, if you have products that are sold in a part of a collection or a kit, the number of elements must also appear in the packaging. For example, 20 ampoules. Date of minimum durability. This is the date until which a cosmetic product stored in suitable conditions will remain stable and usable for its initial function. The stability test is a mandatory study that needs to be performed in new or modified products to ensure the cosmetic meets the intended physical, chemical, and microbiological quality standard, as well as functionality and, of course, aesthetic when stored under appropriate conditions. And the shelf life is generally the length of time that you can expect a product to look and act as expected, and you have the expiry date and the period after opening. We are going to establish how to use one of them in the next slides. Expiry date. When you have a cosmetic product that is expected to last less than 30 months, the date of minimum durability is compulsory. This date of minimum durability will be preceded by the symbol that you can see here, the hourglass, or also with the expression best used before the end of. And it is expressed by month and year, or it's possible day, month, and year. But yes, it's possible that if you don't have spice or you don't know how to put the symbol, it's not together with the date. So the location must be explained in the label of the product. Periods after opening. When a cosmetic product is expected to last more than 30 months, the date of minimum durability is not compulsory. The period after opening symbol, as you can see, needs to be clear, indicating how long the product remains safe to use after opening. But some products is not necessary because they don't deteriorate with normal use. Some examples are aerosols, for example, where the product is completely sealed, perfumes which have a high concentration of alcohol, and single-use products because they have low microbiological risk contamination. The next point is particular precaution or warnings. Some of them are mandatory. When you have ingredients added to our formulation regulated in the Annex 326, very important to include this information because the labeling may also indicate how the product should be used safely and for the best results. But these warnings could be recommended, particular precautions that can be observed in use for the instruction or also for professional use. Moreover, can be optional ones that are the decision of the manufacturer, and we can see here an example. Contains formaldehyde is mandatory because it's an ingredient that is in the annex of the regulation. Avoid contact with ice is about safety, is a recommendation about its instruction of its professional use, and store in a cool, dry place that is optional, is the decision of the manufacturer. Here we are going to see one of the mandatory ones because we are going to add to our product, for example, thioglycolic acid. So this warning of condition of use and warning need to be in the packaging of my product. And all of this needs to be translated in all the national language of the product that we are going to solve. Particular precautions, normally they are suggested by the safety assessor of the product, and also we have products for professional use that need these particular precautions in a leaflet or in another support that we can add this symbol, as you can see, a hand in a book that indicates that precaution and in another support. Identification of the product. This is the manufacturing batch number. It's a code after the production to enable this traceability. This reference number means any detail relating to the products on the market that can be identified and is essential for inspection, for example, for claims and for if you have any incidents. It's possible to have an extension that if you don't have spice in the labeling, you can only write in the packaging, in the secondary packaging of the product. But it is not recommended because of the traceability, because it's not going to comply with the quality standards of the product. Function of the product, yes, it's compulsory to include a description, the name, to know what your product is. But obviously, if it is understandable or is in the average consumer, it is no reason to write it. List of ingredients. Yes, it's an important point. What is an ingredient? It's a substance or a mixture intentionally used in the cosmetic product during the process of manufacturing. Is not an ingredient according to the regulation. Any impurities, it is not if you have an additive in your raw material like an antioxidant or a preservative, it's not an impurity, or it's not an ingredient if you have subsidiary technical materials that are not present in the final product. The labeling of all cosmetic products have the same mixture intentionally used in the manufacturing of the product. This information is identical for the same products across the European Union. And some people may be allergic to one or more ingredients that are used in cosmetic products. So by checking the label on the ingredient list, the patient knows which product need to avoid. So understand that it's only ingredients that you are going to intentionally add, and this list of ingredients can be only in the secondary packaging of the product. The list of ingredients need to be preceded by the term ingredients. The name of the ingredients is essential too, because it is the INCI nomenclature, the INCI name, that is the international nomenclature of cosmetic ingredients, and these names appears in the European Cosmetic Glossary. Colorants, that has the code, the color index CE, with some numbers of one of them, and fragrance, that perfume is indicating the presence of a perfume in the formula, and aroma indicating the presence of a flavor. Talking about the order of the ingredients, need to be listed in descending order of concentration, except if you have ingredients in a concentration less than 1% that you can list in any order. Moreover, colorants, you can write it also at the end of the list of ingredients, but it's not possible to write if you have colorants for hair dye. We have an example here. It is okay? No, it's not okay. Why? Because it's not preceded by the word ingredients, and is not according to the INCI nomenclature. It's not INCI name. Here we can see the right one. Languages. We have 31 EU countries representing more than 24 different official languages. And some of this information in the packaging needs to be translated. First, the nominal content, but if you are writing in the international system, it's not necessary. For example, 100 milliliters is valid for all the European countries. Best use before the end of or the symbol. We always recommend this symbol because it's internationally recognized and you can add in both inner and outer packaging. The particular precaution, of course, the more important are from the ingredient Annex 3 to 6, and the function of the cosmetic product need to be translated to all the official languages of the countries that you are going to sell your products. Here we have an example of a recall of a kids sunscreen lotion that in the French version we can see that babies and small children should be exposed to direct sunlight. So it's a mistake, of course, and babies and small children should not be exposed to the direct sunlight. It was a mistake, and they have to recall all their products to the market. Here you can see all the official EU languages, and there are 24. And as you know, United Kingdom since 2021 is not more in the European Union. The second point is understanding symbols to know what are going to find in the packaging of the cosmetics and what we want to add to our products. The regulated ones are these symbols that are in the Annex 7, symbol uses on labels and packaging. As we have told before, period after opening, date of minimum durability, and also this book with the hand that is very important. This is for the additional information. It's for warning, particular precaution of use, and some information that the manufacturing clients want to add. Yes, and this ability for additional that is indicated with this hand with a book. According to the nominal content, we are going to see a symbol that is the E mark. What is the meaning of this symbol accompanying the content? This symbol appears when the product was packaged according to one of the 16 statistical control systems, the average fill system, which is defined in this legislation. It ensures greater accuracy and transparency about the amount of the product at the time of the packaging. The minimum height is about 3 millimeters, and here we can see a table because it is with the size regulator for the figures depending on the volume of our product. Here we can see the epsilon, that is compulsory indication on the labeling of aerosols. The size is also 3 millimeters, and it should be indicated in the same plane of the view as the volume of our aerosol. So don't forget to add it because it's important for the authorities. We can see two recycling symbols. First, Mobius loop. This is a voluntary symbol that indicates that the product's packaging is recyclable. A percentage shown inside, it indicates the amount of the product that can be recycled. The green dot. In Europe, as you know, all companies are legally required to recycle and recover the packaging and the products. This green dot symbol is normally used to indicate that the manufacturer complies with the law on packaging and also does comply with the packaging waste. The tidy man is also a voluntary symbol that encourages all the consumer to dispose of waste appropriately and to look after the environment. Private certification laws. These symbols are very famous. As you know, they are recognized certification bodies, which means that these products that have these symbols comply with this standard. Sometimes they are interacting with the claims regulation, so please take care that you only can add to the label if they are really certified in these private associations. In addition, you can see these non-official symbols. Here, there are some made-up symbols found on cosmetic labels. And if you start looking at this label closely, you find a lot of them. They are claims in a logo, but they are not official. They are brand own symbol of logos. We need to study as a claim. It's the same. And some of them are interacting with the marketing claims regulation. So please first take care because it's possible that it's not in compliance with this regulation. For example, no tests on animals. And you know, cosmetic products in Europe can't test on animals, so it is not possible to write in the packaging. Moreover, paraben-free or palm oil, for example, are free from claims that they are also regulated in this legislation and can be because they are denigrating a family of substances that can be used. To finish this presentation, we are going to talk about the marking control because authorities should perform appropriate checks of cosmetic products through the product information file where appropriate the label and physical and laboratory checks on the basis of adequate samples. Moreover, the rapid alert system enables the quick exchange of information between the 31 European countries of the European Union, and they are talking about dangerous non-food products posing risk and health for the consumers. This is published each week. An update of these latest alerts sent to all the member states, and of the people that it has the inscription of this page. So it's very important for brand reputation to avoid these possible recalls or these problems in the future. Some key takeaways: know the applicable regulation. Yes, all the points that we have talked today. But also the marketing is very important in the labeling to distinguish your product for competitors. If you are going to work in the art world, the best option is to start as soon as possible, because you are going to think, for example, where are the countries that you are going to sell and what are the label shapes and sizes that you will need. Finally, of course, we recommend to confirm the compliance of your cosmetic product and your labeling contacting with an expert in the field. How we can help you? Yes, Cosmeservice summarizing can help you with labeling, of course, labeling review for product information file that is included, and the safety evaluation, CPMP notification, because we can act as your responsible person in Europe, and to know if your formulation is okay with a lot of services that you may know. So keep calm and get ready for the European market. We are going to help you, and it is time to sell. Don't worry about these topics because you have helped to do it. So thank you very much for your attention, and you know that Cosmeservice team can help you to make the right label and your best strategy for the company and for the marketing. We can offer you all the appropriate support to ensure the cosmetic product comply with the regulation, and also they are attractive for the consumers. So feel free to contact us to discuss all your doubts or all your questions. Here you have our email contact, info@cosmeservice.com, or my personal one, igamero@cosmeservice.com. It's a pleasure to be with you today. Thank you for your attention again, and we are waiting for you and your questions. Have a nice day, and please stay safe. Thank you.